Hey out there, legal warriors. In this video, I'm going to cover what does it mean to be criminally trespassed. And I'm going to cover what we need to worry about and what are some of the problems that I see people run into if someone tells you you can't come back to wherever they're at. If you're interested in this area of the law, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington State for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. Now, as always, I'm just going to jump right into it. What does it mean to be criminally trespassed? And who can do that? And what are they supposed to tell you? And what are the consequences if we violate a criminal trespass? So the most common area we see someone be criminally trespassed would be from a business. And that might be because we're accused of stealing from a business, like, shoplifting at a local mall or a local store. Or it might be having too much to drink at a local bar. And they say, we don't want you to come back. You're criminally trespassed from here. It could even be from someone's home, where you show up and they don't want you there and they have the right to say who can come to their house or not, and then they can criminally trespass you. Well, that one is a little bit more uncommon because most people probably don't know how to do that. So what does a criminal trespass typical situation look like? Well, let's go with the shoplifting case. You get stopped for taking something, maybe you meant to, maybe you didn't, you're super stressed out. And maybe you didn't even do it. Maybe they just think you did. And so the store says, hey, we don't want you to come back. So the typical store, they're going to usually take a photo of the person they're trespassing so they know who it was. And then they're going to fill out a form. And the form's going to say, hey, we are the ones who run these premises. And we are going to say you can't come back here for a certain period of time. There might be 1 year. It might be 5 years. It might be life. And then they're going to ask you to sign it. Maybe you sign it, maybe you don't. It doesn't really matter. And then they're going to give you a copy and they're going to keep a record for themselves. And in some cases, some businesses don't want to do that themselves. Depending on the relationship to law enforcement, they might have the police come out. And the police might trespass you if you're a person like I am and you watch a lot of police videos on YouTube because, I just can't get enough. You'll see lots of times in different states where you're trespassed, and we'll fill this out. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that in Key West. I think they just trespass everyone in Key West. There's lots of drinking there, right? So if you do happen to be trespassed, what that means is that the owner of the premises is saying, we have the right to exclude you from coming back. And now that you're on notice, if you do come back in Washington State, you're going to be in violation of the criminal law. So if they happen to trespass you from a building and you come back to the building, if you come back, that's criminal trespass in the first degree, a gross misdemeanor, up to a year in jail and a $5,000 fine. If it happens to be, hey, you're trespassed from the entire Alderwood Mall and you just show up in the parking lot and, the camera sees you and they come running out, you're not allowed to be here. Well, because you didn't make it to a building, that would be criminal trespass in the second degree, a simple misdemeanor, 90-day in jail max. And believe it or not, at Alderwood Mall, that could probably happen because those cameras are crazy, how much they can see in the resolution. It's just CIA level stuff. So if you happen to be trespassed, I want you to look at the form really closely to see where you're trespassed from. Let's say it's Target. So are you trespassed just from the Target in Bellevue? Or is it all Targets, right? Or if it happens to be at a store at a mall, are you trespassed from just the store at the mall, or is it the entire mall? You need to read and see what it says. And the one that upsets people the most is Costco, because if they trespass you from Costco, they're taking your membership card, and people seem to care more about the membership card than they do whatever they're getting accused of. So you want to take a look at it and don't make the mistake to think, hey, I'm going to go back and fight about it. I want to go talk to the manager because I don't want to be trespassed. Well, you step foot in the store where you've been trespassed from, they're just going to call the police and now you're getting arrested. So if there's something you want to fight about, have someone else do it. Have an attorney do it, but you don't want to do it yourself if you've been trespassed. So if you disagree with the fact that you've been trespassed, and that happened quite a bit during the COVID time, right? People wouldn't wear masks, and some stores wanted a mask, and there's people that didn't want to wear masks, so they would get trespassed out. If you disagree, there's really not too much you can do, except you could go get arrested and then challenge their rights in court to do it, but I don't suggest that. I want you to think about it this way. If it's their property, they get to decide who goes there and who doesn't. If they do it on a discriminatory basis, on a protected class, gender, race, well, then we might have a federal lawsuit to go after them. But we're not going to be able to challenge the local criminal law if we show up saying they didn't have the right to do that. It's better to, I always say, don't be so proud that you end up in handcuffs, right? In other words, we want to try to follow the rules. So same way with the bar. When we see someone trespass someone from a bar, usually it's not going to be for the longest time I see at the bars. Bars tend to want people back, but I want you to read it and see what it says to make sure that you obey it. If you do get charged with criminal trespass, the crime, like you violate something like that, make sure you get an attorney because there may be a way we can get it dismissed. Now, this is different. Being trespass is different than just trespassing on land that has no trespassing sign. That's something else. You don't need to be physically given a trespass notice if you're going somewhere that doesn't otherwise seem open to the public, right? In other words, I, as an owner of a home, don't need to give you a no trespass thing to say, hey, it's not okay for you to be in my backyard, right? That's just assumed that it's not okay to be in my backyard if I don't know you and you're a stranger. So if it looks like it's open to the public, you generally have the right to do whatever the public would do. If it looks like it's not open to the public, you don't have the right to just go back. You can still get a trespass charge without ever being physically trespassed. And when it comes to public lands, no trespassing signs are a good way to help put someone on notice that are not allowed, but it's not an absolute panacea of a solution. Don't think that just because you don't see a no trespass sign, you can go hunting on someone's land or something like that. You always want to think, hey, if it's a public road, I'm probably okay to be there. If it's not a public road, I'm probably not okay to be there if it's some type of land situation. So that's my 2 cents for what you should know if you get criminally trespassed. And remember, it doesn't have to be fair. It doesn't have to be right. If we're going to deal with it, get someone else to. Don't do it yourself. And more importantly, protect yourself. We don't need criminal charges for something that stupid. So if you found this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. And more importantly, if you have a criminal problem in Washington State, feel free to give my office a call. If we get on board, we'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.